Neal Brown's future looks okay. He is now being named as a candidate for multiple coaching jobs at the G5 level and maybe even a few at the P4 level. We're going to talk about that in this episode, which is brought to you by BetUS Online Sportsbook and Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner, attorneys at law. We're also going to talk about a message that Coach Brown has sent to Mountaineer Nation. So stick around and we'll have those conversations right after this. Since 1931, the attorneys at Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner have been the voice for victims who have suffered serious injury or death. They have a fierce passion for truth and justice and a sincere compassion for those who have been wronged by others. Whether you have been in a car accident or fighting with an insurance company, or you or a loved one has suffered serious injury or death due to medical negligence, we will ensure your voice is heard loud and clear. Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner will ensure there is justice for all West Virginians because we are your lawyer, your voice. Visit us at yourlawyeryourvoice.com. What is up? Welcome into another edition of Couz's Corner. Belly yourself up to the bar. Make yourself comfortable. Let me pour you out a shot of top shelf college football news and analysis. Again today, revolving around the West Virginia Mountaineers and the firing of Coach Neal Brown. Two topics in today's show. The first one, as I mentioned in the opening, or one of them rather, is Neal Brown's future and some jobs he may be able to get after leaving West Virginia. But before we get to that one, I want to briefly talk about Neal Brown's message to Mountaineer Nation. Neal Brown put out a tweet just a little while ago. I'm recording this just before 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And Neal Brown put out a message to Mountaineer Nation, and I'm going to show that for you and read it. It says, "It has been a great honor to serve as West Virginia's head football coach. I am extremely proud to be associated with all the incredible young men who were part of our program over the past 6 years. This team, like those before them, showed up every day, resilient, united, and determined. I love this group and know they will navigate this transition with class and integrity. Our family was proud to call West Virginia home. Mountaineer Nation is a dedicated and passionate fan base. With Ren's leadership and the foundation we work so hard to create, I know the program is poised to embrace the challenges of today's ever-changing football climate and make the investments necessary to advance. I am extremely grateful for our tremendous staff and their families. You gave your all, and Brooke and I will always be here for you. To our team, stay focused and go win our bowl game. Let's go." Signed, Neal Brown. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was holding back a little bit of sadness there reading that. Neal Brown gave his all for West Virginia University. There's no doubt about it. Neal Brown tried his best. I have no doubt Neal Brown put in 100% effort. I have no doubt that Neal Brown is a good human being. I have no doubt he's a great dad, a great husband. His players obviously like him because of all the messages they put out over the last couple of days on social media. At the end of the day, this was not personal. It was not about Neal the man. It was not about Neal. It was about Neal the football coach, and the fact that for whatever reason, no matter what he tried to do, no matter what changes he made or didn't make in some cases, which may have been his downfall, but regardless of what he did, he was not able to win enough games at West Virginia. He had one of the worst 6-year stretches in the history of the program. There's no doubt about that. The numbers bear that out. I'm not going to read the numbers. We've been over it ad nauseum. But I do want to say, Neal Brown, any critiques of mine towards you have never been personal. If you happen to see this, which you probably won't, but I appreciate the time you gave West Virginia. I appreciate the effort you gave West Virginia for putting your heart into it. However, I do feel like this was the best move for West Virginia to move forward. I do feel like it was best for you and your family as well because it could not have been easy. It could not have been easy to see the billboards, driving by the billboards that say "Fire Neal Brown" every day. That couldn't have been easy for you and your family. It couldn't have been easy to hear all to see all the negative comments and stuff on social media. Some fans take that too far. I agree. But even just the ones like myself who are criticizing day in, day out, it can't be easy to deal with that. Do I feel sorry for Neal Brown? No, I do not. He's paid handsomely. He's going to be paid handsomely. He's a wealthy man. His family's wealthy. He's made generational wealth while the coach at West Virginia. I don't I do not feel bad or sorry, rather. I don't feel sympathy for Neal Brown. But I do think Neal Brown is a good human being, and I want to thank him for handling this situation with class. I want to thank him for this message. I think it means a lot, at least it does to me. I know some fans are going to poo-poo it and, all this, but at the end of the day, I'm giving you my opinion, and I appreciate it. As a West Virginia fan, I appreciate that message. He didn't have to do this, especially after all the negativity we've thrown his way. He did not have to do this, but he did it anyway. And I'm sure it wasn't easy to do because, I'm sure he has a bond with those players. I'm sure he has a bond with his staff, his coworkers, a lot of the media he's probably formed a bond with, probably a lot of the boosters. So it's probably not, I'm sure his wife and kids have made friends while they were here that they now have to pack up and leave. So this is not easy for him. Even though he's paid a lot of money, it doesn't make it easy. He's still a human being. But I do want to share that with you guys and kind of give you my thoughts on it. The next segment, we will talk about Neal and some of the jobs he's being mentioned for. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you that I am a partner with BetUS Online Sportsbook. If you're looking for a new sportsbook, they're offering a very special deal right now for folks like myself who are promoting them on YouTube. With promo code YouTube150, YouTube150, you can get a 150% sign-up bonus on your very first deposit at BetUS.com. Your next two deposits, you can get 125% bonus on, up to a total of $2,000. Make sure you play responsibly, and remember that you must be 18 years of age or older to play. Again, it's promo code YouTube150 to take advantage of the deal. Now, let's get back to the show. The next topic I want to talk about is Neal Brown's future. Neal Brown, we've all heard about the UMass job, him being a candidate for that. Now there are other jobs starting to pop up that he might be a candidate for, two of them specifically. And I'm going to read an article from Football Scoop. It says, sources, Neal Brown emerges from West Virginia with multiple options. Neal Brown, who had strong coaching success at Troy but couldn't consistently translate it to his run atop West Virginia, has plenty of options in the current coaching cycle. Multiple sources tell Football Scoop that Brown is a central figure in the head coaching search at Appalachian State and could now be in the mix at Charlotte as well. The former fired Sean Clark on Monday, which there are so many West Virginia connections here. Sean Clark's from West Virginia, was the coach at Appalachian State. Says the former Sean Clark fired Sean Clark on Monday after Clark endured 17 losses across the past 3 seasons in Boone, North Carolina. Charlotte parted with Biff Poggi, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, following 2 miserable seasons in mid-November. A former Kentucky player who finished his career at UMass and then later served as Kentucky offensive coordinator, Brown was approached about the UMass vacancy multiple times in recent weeks, even prior to Brown's departure from his post atop the West Virginia program. As this week unfolded and Brown officially split with West Virginia, he quickly heard from other universities. Sources tell Football Scoop Brown is in the top group at App State. At Charlotte, sources tell Football Scoop that the search had been focused on NC State defensive coordinator Tony Gibson, again a West Virginia connection. However, after Gibson turned down the opportunity, Charlotte engaged in conversations with Brown and continues to discuss the opportunity with Bobby Petrino, among others. Additionally, sources tell Football Scoop that Brown has power conference top-level assistant coaching possibilities, including at the offensive coordinator spot. Now, the first thing that came to my mind when I read this was Texas Tech. Brown was offensive coordinator at Texas Tech under Tommy Tuberville back in the mid-2000s, early in Dana's tenure at West Virginia. He was actually the O coordinator the first time West Virginia went to Lubbock. Remember that year when West Virginia went to Lubbock 5-0 in 2012 and got the brakes beat off of them? Neal Brown was the OC of that team. They're losing their offensive coordinator, Kitley, to a head coaching spot at Florida Atlantic. Maybe that opens a spot for Brown to go back to Lubbock and work for Joey McGuire. We'll see. But the article goes on to say, but Appalachian State has long been considered one of the group of five's most appealing jobs and a consistent competitor. Charlotte's invested considerably into the program's facilities and is a booming metropolitan area. Timing is critical this week with the earlier-than-ever NCAA December signing period. It opens Wednesday and runs through Friday, with the NCAA transfer portal window opening later this month from December 9th through the 28th. West Virginia, per contract terms from its restructured deal with Brown earlier in 2024, owes him 75% of his remaining salary, somewhere in the neighborhood of $9 million. However, West Virginia officials did negotiate offset language in the Browns' amended deal, meaning that if he accepts a new job somewhere, that West Virginia is relieved of paying that portion of Brown's salary. So if Brown accepts a position at a program where he's earning, hypothetically, $1.5 million per year, that's $1.5 million less that West Virginia must pay. Clark's total compensation package atop App State was just shy of $1 million. Per public data, Poggy was earning $1 million per year at Charlotte. Most power conference offensive and defensive coordinators are making closer to 1.4 to 1.5 million in the current marketplace, with more coordinators than at any time making more than 2 million on both offense and defense. So this would be great for not only Neal and his family, but also for West Virginia, because it saves them money. At the end of the day, they're going to have to pay Neal less money when he lands another job. So I could very, very well see Neal getting an offensive coordinator spot. And I know a lot of fans are going to say, because he sucks as a play caller. I don't think he does. Do I agree with a lot of his play calling? No, I don't. But when you look at Neal's track record, that's how he got into being a head coach in the first place, was his success as an offensive coordinator at Troy, Texas Tech, and then Kentucky. And I thought he did a pretty good job calling plays at West Virginia for the most part. Like I said, I didn't agree with all of it, but I thought overall, from his time here to the time he left, I thought he did a pretty darn good job. Considering that, I thought his weaknesses were other areas, not calling plays. I didn't think they acquired the right talent at times. I thought they had trouble retaining talent at times. I think he missed on some staff hires. I think he probably made the wrong choice at defensive coordinator. There are several things that Neal, in my opinion, did wrong, but I don't think calling offensive plays was his problem. Just my opinion. And it's my understanding he's a very respected coach throughout the country. He's known as a good offensive mind. He's still very young. He's only 44 years old, for crying out loud. So he has a lot of time left to even get better at his craft. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Neal pop up somewhere like Lubbock, Texas, or even, maybe he lands the Charlotte job. He can go to Charlotte, coach in a town that's a big city, more of a bigger city. It's not rural like Morgantown. He won't be as well known there. He'll be able to go out in public without being harassed or bothered or, have to talk to people when he doesn't really feel like it. He can just focus on the day-to-day of being a football coach. Appalachian State, probably a little different. It is a little bit more rural. Boone's a city, but it's a little bit more rural than Charlotte. So it may not be, and Appalachian State's kind of the biggest game in town there. So it would be a little different, but I don't think Neal cares about that. I don't think he would shy away from that because he would be accustomed to it from his days here at West Virginia. Let me know what you think about these two topics. What do you think about Neal's message to the fan base? And what do you think about these opportunities popping up now for Neal? And isn't it funny Appalachian State's firing a guy from West Virginia to maybe hire the coach that was that was at West Virginia, and then the former West Virginia DC turned down the Charlotte job, and now they're interviewing Neal. The connections are endless. Tony Caridi would love this story. Probably may even talk about it. But anyway, let me know what you think about it. I want to give another shout out to my channel sponsors, BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, and Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner, attorneys at law. I want to give a shout out as well to my VIP channel members of this show. They are Okie King, S. Michael DeHart, Jake T., Earl Carr, and Lonnie Johansson. Thank you all for your support of the show. If you want to support the show by being a paid VIP member, there are 2 levels. All you have to do is hit the join button below or the join button over on my channel homepage beside my profile photo. It tells you all about the perks that go along with being a member at each level. You can also support me for absolutely 100% free. All you have to do is hit the like button. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. You can share it with your friends, and the comments also help the YouTube algorithm and help me grow my channel. All that being said, there's another video in the corner of your screen over here you can check out. You might like it as well. I hope the rest of your day is absolutely top shelf. Do not accept anything less. With that, I'm out. Make sure you cue country roads.